Not everyone is so lucky to find a job from abroad in Japan.
Mm, yeah.
And so I think it's very good to start from Japanese language school. The school helped me to find the part-time job. And this part-time job was actually also a graphic design job. For Pyeongchang Winter Olympics, our Ukrainian team used the uniform that I had to design. And I somehow felt close to the values that were depicted in the Japanese society.
Hello, good morning, Tanya. Welcome to Designing Japan. Thank you for being here.
Hello, thank you for having me.
Okay, so could we start by hearing a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, sure. My name is Tanya. I am from Ukraine, a city called Kharkiv. So I started as a graphic designer, and like my in short, I just liked to draw when I was in school. So it was kind of a natural way to develop my career as a graphic designer. So first I entered the university, the art university, for the graphic designer specialty, and studied there for like 5 years, getting my master's.
Wow.
It was it was super fun and super cool there. I learned a lot and I got motivated, and I still remember this feeling of having lots of creative people around you. Like, we're motivating each other, bring new ideas into the community. It was like really special and something that I'm still looking for. I keep looking for in my current adult life.
Wow.
Yeah,
So you started, so you're always really into design, and then you went to university in Ukraine for graphic design, and you spent there 5 years and master's degree as well. Wow.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. Nice. So what sort of graphic design were you doing then?
We did all sorts of graphic design, and I'm not sure how common it is in other Western countries, but we also had to draw and paint, like really old school type of study. So, to be a graphic designer, or at least what people thought being a graphic designer, started from drawing and painting. So that was my childhood passion, and that's how I started. So aside from that, like, we did illustrations, we did posters, branding, corporate identity, basically typography, package, anything.
Okay. Wow. So it was like, yeah, you got to spend some years studying what you were really passionate about as a child and learn more about design and awesome. And then
yes, exactly.
when you sort of started your career, did you start in graphic design then?
Yes, it was a strange mixture of graphic design and uniform design.
Uniform design. Wow. Okay.
Yes. So, like, after graduating, I was also really passionate about going to Japan. And there was a special program for young people of Ukraine. They could join program on the ship, on the board. It was a cultural exchange between Japanese students and foreign students. And since it was my dream to come to Japan, I was eager to participate in this program. So this program had a couple of interviews. Yeah. So for this interview, you had to go to the capital of our country, Kiev, and participate in actual interview. Like, they were listening to your story and deciding if you will participate or not. Unfortunately, I didn't pass that interview, but one of the
so
people
this
who
was
were in the
like
committee.
yeah, but so after graduating university, like this was going to be your first job, was it? Or how did you, were you already working, or how did the boot come about?
And I was looking for a job, but I was also looking for other opportunities. So that ship thing was one of the opportunities I was looking into. And I didn't pass, but it helped me find my employer, because he was in the commission who was listening to different candidates. And he was also an owner of the company making a uniform and selling the sportswear in Ukraine.
Okay.
And he was looking for a designer.
Oh, perfect.
So, yeah, that's how he found me. and invited to work in Kiev as a graphic
Ah, okay.
designer and a
Yeah.
uniform designer.
When you say uniform, is
Yeah,
that
that's
like a
kind of my
like
first
staff uniform or like what type of uniform?
sports uniform for sports
Ah.
teams,
Oh wow, okay.
specifically like Olympic team uniforms, something like that. You know,
Wow,
each
okay.
country,
Yeah.
yeah, each country has its own like national colors, and they need
Yeah.
to depict it in the uniform, and they could also input something creative. So it's
Wow, okay.
not that I needed to design the structure of each item.
Hmm.
I needed to design the graphics to be printed on the uniform.
Hmm. Wow, but that's a really
And
interesting
parallel to
job, right?
this, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, it was a really special experience. It needed lots of communication skills and presentation skills. You needed to prove why your idea is good
Hmm.
and
Hmm.
how did you come up with it.
Wow, but so your designs were actually used by the Olympic athletes after that?
Actually, yes, it was produced,
Wow,
and
yeah.
for Pyeongchang
Mm.
Winter Olympics, our
Hmm.
Ukrainian team used
Yeah.
the uniform that I helped
Wow,
to design.
that's so cool. You must have felt so proud, like watching them.
Yes, I did. I was on the like, big presentation event where the models were showing like many famous sportsmen or
Mm.
TV figures of Ukraine. They were wearing the uniform that I helped to make. It felt really
Yeah,
special.
amazing, amazing. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, you had applied to the boat, but that didn't work out, and then so you were doing the uniform design. How long did you do that for?
It was about 2 years. And yeah, I should mention it wasn't only about making uniform design, it was also making different graphic design, like banners, flyers, like certificates, because we had an actual online store and actual shops around the country where we
Hmm.
sold like not only uniforms, the sportswear as
Mm.
well. And we needed to
Mm.
constantly show different campaigns and advertise our business as
Mm.
well.
Yeah. Wow, it's very patriotic. Like,
Yes.
yeah, yeah.
Now I'm
Mm.
really proud that I had this experience in my life.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I think it's pretty unique experience, right?
Yeah.
Nice, nice. Okay, and then did you do any other jobs after that before coming to Japan, or did you next make the move to Japan after that?
After that, I moved to Japan.
Wow, okay. So yeah, you said before that because you're interested in applying for the boat, like you were always interested in living and working in Japan. Like
Yes.
why is that? Was there something that like sparked that interest for you?
It's actually might sound pretty boring because the story is similar to most of foreigners who come to Japan. But yeah, when I was small, like 12 years old, I first found out about things like anime and Japan. Um, yeah, I was really interested in the different types of stories that Japanese people created. And from these stories, I grew my interest to Japan and its culture, its nature, its lifestyle. And I somehow felt close to the values that were depicted in the Japanese
Mm.
society. I mean, the politeness of people, how they think about others, how they don't like to cause troubles to other people, like really nice and polite and peaceful
Mm.
society.
Mhm.
And I thought someday I definitely want to live in this country and work in this
Wow.
country.
Wow. So that was when you were quite young. Then you were reading the manga, not watching the anime, and you thought that you wanted to live in
Mm,
Japan. Wow. Okay.
yes,
Yeah.
exactly. I was watching anime in Japanese actually,
Oh.
with English with English
Yeah.
subs. So because I liked it, I kept studying like unconsciously, just
Ah.
doing what I liked, which
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
a
Yeah.
really cool part of it. So I was learning both English and Japanese at the same time.
Yeah. I think that's the best way, right? Just to be exposed to it and then not thinking too hard
Mm,
about studying. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Nice. Nice. So yeah, you always had that interest, and then you were working at the uniform place
Mm,
and doing the patriotic designs. So yeah,
yes.
when did you? I guess before you wanted to go through the boat program, did you ever start thinking
Yeah,
about like other ways that you could come to Japan after that? How did that start?
of course, of course. It was always on my mind. And like the most obvious way for me was to enter some Japanese language school that time.
Mm.
That was like many people like could join the university in Japan, for example, but I have
Mm.
already graduated. I did my master's. I didn't see it very much possible. I thought I
Mm.
should keep working in my career and moving to Japan with my career to bring something new here as well. So I was looking for opportunities to find Japanese language school
Mm.
to have enough budget for it. I've been
Yep.
working mostly on that.
Yeah, I think it's the one of the easiest ways I think to come to Japan, right? Because you
Mm.
can go to the language school for I think up to 2 years, is it the maximum?
Yeah, up to two,
Yeah.
I think.
Okay. Yeah, and the classes are usually only like in the mornings or in the afternoon, so you can also
Mm.
work part-time as well. So it's quite a good way to come here and then look for an internship or a job after that.
Yes,
Yeah.
definitely. Not everyone is so lucky to find job from abroad in Japan.
Mm. Yeah.
And you also, if you were not exposed to Japanese culture in any way or you don't speak Japanese, this is really important
Mm.
time for you to get accustomed to Japan, to its like traditions, culture, lifestyle. So
Mm.
I think it's very good to start from Japanese language school.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Definitely. I think it's a great way to come. So did you end up coming then for the language school first?
Yes, I did.
Nice. Okay.
To say it simply.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay. So you like searched online to find the right one, and then like what was the deciding factor that made you go, okay, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna move to the language school.
That's a really good question because I have told you that I was working in Kiev for about two
Mm.
years,
Mhm.
and that was also a great chance for me to improve my Japanese language. I was already studying Japanese language. And not only that, in capitals, in like big cities of maybe almost every country, you have higher chances to find actual Japanese people.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So I've been looking to find friends, Japanese friends, or people who are like me, interested in Japan, Japanese language, Japanese culture. And there were actually gatherings like this in Kiev. And that's where I met lots of Japanese and made
Ah,
lots of friends. And the first time I had a real chance to practice my language.
wow.
And actually, the choice of school came from my friends
Wow, okay.
because
Yeah.
yeah, they introduced me one of the schools that were just about to open, and
Mm.
the school needed to advertise itself.
Mhm.
It was a very unique and rare chance. I'm not sure how many schools like this are now in Japan. Maybe people can look around for some new opening schools. They're really looking for new students, and sometimes
Mm.
they give even some scholarships.
Wow,
So the
okay.
school that I found that I was introduced, it had some
Mhm.
scholarships. They could
Mm.
refund you some part of your expenses,
Yeah.
or if you're super lucky, you can get 100% refund of any school expenses. But still,
Wow,
you
okay.
need to pay for your living.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So that was a really
Wow.
rare chance that
Yeah.
helped me to come to
Yeah.
Japan. Of course, there was a
Mhm.
stage of an interview with the
Mhm.
school.
Mhm.
They needed a kind of example perfect student in a group. They
Mm.
wanted someone who will lead, who will show an example to other students, who will
Mm.
motivate them. They were
No
looking for
pressure.
this kind of people. Yeah, yeah, no
Yeah.
pressure. It was a bit of a pressure, but like it wasn't really difficult for me because I was always a good student
Mm.
everywhere. So for me, it was fine.
Yeah,
Still,
yeah,
they
yeah.
required you to like attend 100% of the
Mm.
time because if you don't have any special scholarship, you can skip some lessons when you feel sick,
Uh,
when you have some other plans, when
yeah.
your relatives visited you in Japan. But in my
Mm.
case, I was advised to attend 100% of the
Wow,
classes.
okay. Hardcore, yeah. Wow, yeah,
Yeah.
but that was a result of you when you're in Kiev, like going to the meetups and meeting people. and then that sort of came about
Exactly.
naturally. Yeah, wow, that's so cool. And it must have been really interesting to like meet the Japanese people for the first time at those like events and things.
Yes, it was super exciting and super stressful to start speaking for the
Mm,
first time in
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Japanese.
yeah. Yeah, but that's so cool that yeah, that you did that. Like, I think a lot of people, they
Mm,
never take that step. They're just always like studying at home or like in their head and
mm,
like watching TV, but they never actually go out and talk to people. So I think, yeah, it's really cool
mm.
that you took that step. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
thank you.
So, yeah, yeah. So then yeah, applied and you go into the language school. So yeah, then you were set like to come to Japan, right? What was it like to like move here and get started at the language school?
Um, because I had a really long time of pre-study, because
Mm.
I was learning Japanese in advance, I was watching lots of YouTube videos about life in Japan. I think comparing to other people, it was relatively easy for me to
Mm.
come to Japan.
Yeah, no big
So
surprises.
also
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. um Still, like, there was some percentage of signs on the roads that I didn't really understand and needed some time to get accustomed with them. Of
Yeah.
course, I didn't speak perfect Japanese that moment. I could have just a daily conversation, but not any like deep or specific conversation at
Mm.
that moment.
Mm.
So still some things were difficult. Like, you go to kombini and
Mm.
you just want to buy something, and
Yeah.
they cashier person, they ask you many questions like, do you need a bag, do you
Yeah.
have a
Yeah.
point card?
Yeah.
And because you never heard this before, you
Yeah.
kind of don't know what to answer. It
Yeah.
was a
Yeah.
bit of
Yeah.
like small daily stressful things,
Yeah.
but you
They should
quickly
put those
get
things in the
used to them.
textbooks, right? Yeah.
Yeah. I think so.
Nice. 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 Was the language school in Tokyo?
Yeah, it was in Shinjuku, in center of Tokyo.
Okay. Nice. 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 Had you been to Japan before that?
Just like half year before I started my study in Japan, I went for about 1 month just for travel.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
like, I had this 1 month of traveling around, which maybe helps me in a way. Like, I
Mm.
kind of started understanding how the metropolitan system works and the trains,
Yeah.
that you
Yeah.
need some card, Suica or Pasmo to
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
enter and stuff like that.
Yeah. And it sort of helped you realize that you would like to try living there.
Yeah,
Yeah. Okay.
it just made me sure that I want to live here in this
Mm, mm,
country.
mm, mm, mm. Yeah, awesome. Okay, so yeah, how long did you end up studying at the language school after that?
It was 1 year.
Okay, right. Did you do any like part-time job during that time?
Yes, I did. I did it actually from the first day of study in my language
Wow.
school. Yeah, we had a kind of agreement on the school helped me to find the part-time job, and this part-time job was actually also a graphic design job. I was
Nice.
super lucky.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Usually schools don't support for as much as that, but in my case they got a context they could introduce me to, and they knew I came from kind of a poor country, and they also knew I need to support my expenses, so
Mm,
they
mm, mm.
were really, really nice and helped me to find this job.
Wow,
So
that's
that's how I
amazing.
started
Yeah.
my first graphic design job in Japan.
Yeah, yeah, that's really cool. I think that's sort of what the ideal situation for a lot of people who want to go to
Mm,
Japan. Like if they can't find a job from overseas because it's quite difficult,
mm,
then they could go to language school and work part time. But it's very difficult, I
mm,
think, to get the part time job, particularly in
mm.
an area like design. Um,
Yeah,
but that's amazing that they helped you. Yeah.
yeah. I know that schools usually can introduce you some simple jobs, but
Hmm.
mostly they are like working in kombini
Yeah.
or maybe in some hotels.
Hmm.
But yeah, some specific jobs are quite rare. But
Hmm.
I think still, if it's your goal, you can find it on your own.
Yeah. 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 I think particularly with smaller like startups that are looking
Mm.
for interns and things, I think it's quite easy to find a job there. But there is usually the language requirement, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, And also, still, there are lots of businesses who have foreign customers, like, for
Mm,
example, tour agencies
mm,
or companies that sell something specifically for tourists. And they actually require foreign people to work for
mm.
them, for example, customer support. That's where people can use their English skills to talk to foreigners like them who come to
Yeah,
Japan,
yeah.
which can be also a really good way to start your first Python, doing some customer
Mm.
support like that.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Did that first job require Japanese? Did you use Japanese in your work?
Yes, I use it every day.
Wow, nice. That
Yeah,
would have been
most
even
of my
better than the school
colleagues,
then, right?
yeah, most of my colleagues were speaking Japanese. We had like morning meetings where people are announcing what they're going to do today or what they did yesterday. So I was exposed to this like corporate Japanese
Mm,
culture. I
mhm,
kept listening every day. I kept checking in the Google Translator that time. What does it mean? If I got some messages in the chat, so of course I need to translate them first. So while I was working, I was studying a lot. And
mm.
I must say that this experience helped me even more than Japanese school in improving my actual Japanese language. Because people in Japanese school who didn't work, who didn't do any baito, there was obviously gap between them and people who actually did baito and were
Yeah.
speaking Japanese and the work every day.
Mm, mm, mm. Yeah, definitely. Being surrounded by the actual language, the way that it's spoken, compared to like studying it in the textbook. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Mm.
Wow, yeah, that's so cool. It must have been a really intense period then, like studying and then working, and then yeah, studying in the morning and like working in the evening, and being constantly like surrounded by Japanese and yeah.
It's super stressful. At the end of the day, you forget even your native language, I think. Not only Japanese or English.
Yeah, 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 yeah,
Your
yeah.
brain is just can explode at the end of the day. It was
Mm-hmm.
super heavy.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. So you did that for a year, then you continued the part-time job and the language school for 1 year.
Yes, I did it for 1 year. Then my Japanese school finished, and I decided to stay in the same company but transfer to become a full-time employee
Yeah.
from part-time job.
Nice, nice, nice. Yeah, that's also a really cool way to do it, right? You can start as an intern, and
Yes.
it's yeah, yeah, it's sort of easier to make your way in as an intern, and then
Mm.
yeah, you can prove yourself, and then they can hire you and offer you a visa as well as a full-time employer.
Yeah, of course. And I also think companies really appreciate when you show your interest to this
Mm,
company. Like
mm,
if you were working Byton, you said, I really like your company. I like the way everything's made here. I would like to stay. Usually it's a really high chance they will accept you. I think
yeah,
so. Well, it
yeah,
depends on
yeah,
the
yeah.
company, of course.
Yeah, definitely. I did the same thing for the company that I interned at during university. I was like, I want to
Mm.
work here full time afterwards. So yeah, I think it's a really good way to do it, especially like
So
when
they
you're coming
also
up at school.
agreed, right?
Yeah, yeah, they also agree.
Cool.
Nice, nice, nice. Okay, so yeah, then you've been here for quite a long time, though, right? So like 7, 6, 7 years. How long have you been
Yeah, it's
since then?
been
Yeah.
7 years, just like
Wow. Okay.
almost exactly 7 years.
Nice, nice, nice. So after graduating the language school, now it's been about 6 years, I guess. What
Yes,
has what's it been like working full time for the last 6 years in Japan?
well, there were ups and downs.
Yeah.
No, first, the difference between when you're a part time worker and when you're a
Mm,
full time worker. Some companies, no, I think most of the companies, they expect different things from you.
mm, mm.
So when I was working part time, people were super nice. They didn't give you any like excess stress. It was clear that you have this task, you need to finish it, nothing more. No additional, like, not much additional meetings or studies or anything else. It was just super straightforward. But again, depends on the company. When you become part-time worker, like in Japan, there is certain specifics in being a full-time worker
Mm,
that basically it's rare that you're being uh, a certain professional, that they hire you as a professional of the
uh,
design, for example. So
Yes.
you're generally you belong to this company, and they think they can assign you to any position
Yeah.
they need at the moment. And that was really unexpected for me, because that's absolutely different from what I have in my country.
Mm.
So once I joined as a full-time worker, I thought I will be working in the same department where I worked. So it was marketing and PR department, but company had other plans for me. Without like asking my opinion, they transferred me to a different division and didn't explain me why. And it
Wow.
was super shocking for me.
Wow. Yeah, that must have been a shock. Like after you decided to join full time and you said, "Oh, I love this
Yeah.
company," and then they move
Yeah,
you.
I love this company. I love this department. I want to keep working here.
Yeah.
Yes, please go to another department.
Wow. What was the new department?
The new department was more about web design, actually. So
Oh,
that's
okay.
how my
Yeah.
career of web designer started.
Oh, so it was a. Do you think it was like a good thing in retrospect?
Um, Emotionally, it was hard, but logically thinking and thinking from the perspective of my career, it was a really good chance to start a career as a web designer. And currently, I keep doing web design and keep improving in this field more.
Mm.
So it was actually both that moment.
Nice. Okay. Yeah. So it was a shock, but then it sort of helped you make this transition to web and now like UX, UI design.
Yes, exactly.
Oh, okay. Did you like survive very long in the new role, or did you switch companies after that?
Actually, as a, like, I worked 1 year as a part-time worker and almost 2 more years as a web designer in
Wow.
another
Okay. Quite
department.
long. Yeah.
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 Uh, the good things there was a team of designers, team of coders, the communication between two teams, communication inside designers team. You can see how other people work.
Mm.
You They can teach you a lot also about how Japanese design work, because that time we mostly did work for Japanese businesses. We were
Mm.
making websites for small businesses in Japan. So like there are certain rules for like making designs in Japan for Japanese clients, and making designs in other countries like Western countries, for example.
Mm.
Like the first typography is absolutely different. It has its own rules. It has its own fonts. And in Japan, all the letters are the same size. Like there are no
Mm.
caps
Right.
in
Right.
some
Right. Right.
letters.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Yeah.
like the rules are different, and the way they can use, for example, they can break some Western rules. There's something that I thought was a rule in like Western kind of thinking. In Japan, they had absolutely different rule. Like for
Oh,
example,
yeah.
mixing the sizes of the fonts in one
Mm.
sentence is absolutely okay in Japan. That's how Japanese language works.
Mm, mm, mm,
And
mm.
if you keep using only like Western rules of Western typography, they might be seen as boring or not engaging
Mm.
enough.
Wow, that's so
That was a big
interesting. Yeah.
discovery for me.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, it seems like it was a lot of like learning experiences then in that 2 years when you're
Yes,
working as a web designer. That's so cool.
yes,
Yeah.
it
Were,
was.
were, were you the only foreigner in the department?
We also had some Koreans, I think some Chinese in our departments, in like
Were they
designers and
designers? Oh,
coders.
wow. Okay.
Yeah, they,
Nice,
they
nice.
were
Yeah. Yeah.
designers, and
Okay.
really skilled ones. I learned a lot from them. Yeah,
Nice,
most
nice.
of people were Japanese, only some foreigners, and we
Yeah.
had foreigners in other departments as well.
Mm, okay. Nice, nice, nice. So yeah, what did you? I guess you left then after the 3 years total. What made you
Yes,
decide
I
to
did.
leave? Yeah, yeah,
The corporate culture was quite heavy on me.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah, I'm not quite sure yet why, but I was hired as a shinsotsu, which means freshly
yeah.
graduate. So there is a system in Japan when they hire the graduates of the university, so people who don't have any work experience. The companies hire them and they promise them they will teach them anything. They can send them to any department, they can make them experience many different things, which kind of works good for many people in Japan, I think. But for a person like me who already had experience as a designer in my home country, who had a full background of being a designer, coming to a new company as a fresh graduate
Yeah.
was a bit weird. And this also included some tests for your first year as a full-time worker.
Oh.
You had a typing test. You need
Oh
to
no.
type as fast as you can, of course, in Japanese. You had
Yeah.
an IT terminology test, and that's the
Mm.
type of test where you can see the word and you need to write down the explanation in Japanese again.
Wow.
You're not allowed to use any English. So they teach those freshly graduates, and they're
Mm.
pretty harsh on them. Not all the
Yeah.
people can survive their first year,
Mm.
honestly. That's the type of culture that was not close to my
Yeah.
values.
Yeah. I
So,
felt that as well, I think, as a
really.
Shinzotsu person. I think a lot of companies like they really restrict what the Shinzotsu can do because like,
Mm,
well, you have no experience, so you're not going to be able to do
yeah.
anything. And the pay is usually quite low as well.
Yeah.
And yeah, you don't have much freedom. So I think, yeah, as soon as you switch companies, even if you've only been working for like 1 year, then you're no longer the Shinzotsu and you're treated just the same as the other, mid career higher
Mhm.
employees as well. So yeah, it's an interesting
Yes.
system, right? Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So you also had the similar experience.
A little bit, yeah. Wow, okay. So yeah, so you decided to switch companies. And what did you
Yes.
also go for a similar role after that? How did you go about looking for a new company?
I spent first. I needed some rest, so I went to my
Yeah.
home country for like three months or so, just to recharge there, to regain my energy. Then I went back to Japan and was looking for a new job. Um, yeah, the it's not that easy to find a new job in
Mm,
Japan. So the best recommendation I can give is apply to as many places as possible, go to as many interviews as possible, even though they not all of them will lead you to actually having the role. They will
mm,
give you a great experience and more confidence for your next interviews. So I've been applying through different websites. I've been using LinkedIn, like daijob.com, like many,
mm,
many different platforms common
mm,
in Japan. And it happened to me twice that once you just start your job hunting, it's kind of difficult, for example, first month or two. Like you keep going on interviews, but you don't get any results of that, and you kind of start losing your motivation. But
yeah.
then it hits you all in the same time, and you get like two or three offers all at once.
Oh,
I don't know
wow.
how
Yeah.
it works, but that's what happened to me. You just need to be persistent and um, keep doing what you're doing
Nice,
without
nice.
hesitation. So yeah,
Yeah.
I actually got two offers from two different companies. The I was also looking for positions of a web designer
Hmm.
or UX UI designer, and found two great places that were interested in me and gave me offers. And it was hard to
Amazing.
decide
Yeah.
which company to join.
That's a good problem
So
to have, though, right? Yeah.
yeah, I think I prioritized then the company that gave opportunity to work remotely,
mm, good
because I
idea. Yeah.
think it works better for me. Like
Nice.
because morning Japanese morning routine, the commute is really really difficult.
Yeah. You want to avoid
Trains
the
are
rush
super
hour.
packed. Yes.
Yeah. Awesome. So yeah, how was that job good? Did you like that job? What was it like compared to the other
I
ones? Yeah.
absolutely love the job.
Oh,
It
nice. Yeah.
was a much smaller company, but with kind of lighter corporate culture that fitted me much more. People were more open and there were also foreigners there. They were using English as their second language in the company, so it was actually people were encouraged to speak both languages. And there was an amazing small design team. Like there were two senior UX designers that were always super nice to me. They taught me lots of things. We had meetings, like even though we were in different apartments, I actually kept working in as a team of marketing team, as a designer there, as a web designer of our homepage. But the other designers, they were working on an app that we were selling. And despite we were in different teams, we had meetings every week, I think. And every week we were sharing some parts of our job, some discoveries, some new practices, which was very special for me. That's when I started seriously learning UX UI. And I actually started enjoying my work and my profession.
Wow, that's great. Yeah. I feel like, yeah, a lot of people like they only think about the big companies, like the really big famous companies.
Mm.
But well, there are more like small companies in Japan than big companies, and a lot of the times, as you mentioned, like the small company is a lot easier. Like they have a lot less
Mm-hmm.
corporate culture, less hierarchy,
Mm-hmm.
and it's a lot more laid back in the way that they approach
Mm-hmm.
things and that you can work. So yeah, I think small companies are
Mm-hmm.
a good choice.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with you.
Nice, nice. Okay. Yeah, so I guess it's been 6 years now. Like, how do you feel now about your life in Japan? Like, looking back on the last 6 years and your decision to come here, like, what are your thoughts?
Um, I think that was a really essential experience for my life. That's what I needed. That's what I was dreaming of. Like I'm basically living in my dream, living here in Japan. Of course, even though I'm saying it's like a dream, it's actually not. Like,
Yeah.
of course, there are ups and downs, some difficulties, some bureaucracies, but overall, there are so many things you can enjoy here in Japan. I just cannot count them so easily. So many new hobbies, so many new things you can get, the new way of thinking, so many things you can learn just from conversations with Japanese living next to you, with just seeing what they do, how they do. All these small things that are absolutely different from the environment you grew up in. This is really amazing experience. And in terms of the career, I think after my first company, I understood that for me, the companies with foreigners that are open to English speaking people are kind of much easier. And that's uh, first, it's easier for you to work there. And the second, it's better for them to have a specialist who doesn't only have the Japanese way of thinking, who can bring something from the outside to benefit their business. So, especially companies who work for foreign customers, I think having, for example, foreign designers would really improve their website, their
Yeah.
products. So, and there are many companies like this currently in Japan. Um, as I said, some companies dealing with tourists, doing some products for tourists, or some businesses for like startups as well. Your experience as a foreigner will be really valuable for them. Even if your Japanese is not that perfect, sometimes it's not the most important thing.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And then the pay is better as well, right? Because you have some unique value that you're offering. Yeah.
Of course,
Yeah.
definitely.
Yeah, I think that's like one of the keys to successfully living in Japan is like understanding the unique value that you can offer and then
Mm,
finding a way to offer that. Because I think that allows you to have a much better work life balance and pay and lifestyle compared to
yeah,
just being another general person, general employee, like a lot of Japanese shinsatsu are. Yeah.
of
Yeah.
course.
Great advice. So, yeah, are you planning to stay in Japan in the foreseeable future?
Yes, I'm planning to stay here permanently in
Mm-hmm.
long term. but I would also like to explore some other countries, like temporarily, maybe for some internship or as a freelancer. So,
Yeah,
but
definitely.
still, long term, I think Japan is a really safe and amazing country for living.
Mhm.
Especially because I cannot go back to my home country at the
Yeah,
moment.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I don't really have much choice to go back there, but that's also one more great point of Japan accepting foreigners and letting them live here
Yeah,
the
yeah,
same
yeah,
way they let Japanese people live here. Like you
yeah.
don't feel any uh, what's I never faced any racism here. You're basically being treated as other Japanese. People are usually polite to you. That's one more thing that I really love here. I'm not sure if I can see it in other countries as well.
Yeah. I mean, you're always different, but there's no like overt like racism. Nobody's gonna like make a comment or like, yeah, give you yeah, a dirty look or something.
Mm.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Nice, nice. Okay, so yeah, do you have any sort of final advice for people overseas who are maybe in a similar situation to you were before, where they like Japan and they want to sort of experience living here? Like, what sort of advice would you give them?
I think it's good to prepare in advance, to prepare a lot, to pre-study before coming to Japan. Well, I can only advise things that I experience. So, as I said, finding friends in Japan before you come to Japan, or finding Japanese friends around you will give you like a great confidence in communicating in the future. And as for looking for a job in Japan, just try to apply to as many places as you can. Just try to sign up for as many interviews as you can. Um, and just don't give up. That's the only thing you can get it. Just believe that you can do it, and you will. The chance will find you, definitely.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, I think it's been really cool to hear your story today. It's amazing how you kept on like taking action in the direction of what you wanted to achieve, and then it just sort of naturally came about through all of the actions that you took. So I think it's a very inspiring story for yeah anyone listening.
Thank you.
Thank
I
you.
hope people find it useful for them as well.
Yeah, I'm sure they will. Okay, thank you so much. Thank
Thank
you.
you. So yeah, there are many different types of Japanese language schools, but the one I was studying at, it's called Lingage Japanese Language School. It had a specifics. They teach business Japanese language. And they also give some classes that will be useful for you when you find a job. And they also teach you how to act during the job interviews, how to pick up the calls when you will join the Japanese company, how to give the business cards in Japanese manner. So the school is specifically designed for people who want to find job in Japan, not only
Oh,
come to
yeah.
Japan and have fun.